Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 36 of the Coffee Club podcast. We're here. It's nighttime. I was trying to think, is this our first nighttime podcast?
No, we've done it.
We've done one before.
We did an evening one.
We've done afternoon, evening
nice.
ones before, but I don't know if we've ever done an actual post-dinner one. Have we?
I don't know about post-dinner.
Yeah.
We need some like decaf or something. I'm very anti that.
Yeah.
No coffee.
Don't the Europeans have espresso usually after dinner?
Dude, they're crazy,
They do,
though.
yeah.
I don't know how they do that. They'll just drink coffee.
Just, like,
Built different.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that you think that you like coffee a lot and then you look at the stats for the countries that drink coffee the most and you look at Sweden and they average like 10 coffees a day?
Sweden?
Yeah, it's all the countries that have like really bad winters.
Hmm.
Like Norway, all those ones, Finland, all the ones that have, just complete darkness. I think they just drink a shit ton of coffee. And the numbers are ridiculous how much they drink.
So that explains battery voltage.
Is that you need for Valtteri Bottas?
Battery Bottas, yeah.
Can I just say, talking about Valtteri Bottas.
That's not a Coffee Club original.
That's a Twitter original.
Is it? All right. Well, I don't know if our audience knows who Valtteri Bottas is, but he's an F1 driver who I love, and everyone else loves him now as well. So
he also comes to Colorado a lot.
Because he comes to Colorado all the time.
Drinks coffee, does
just
mountain bike races.
Stuff, yeah.
Obsessed with coffee.
Fucking awesome. Has his own alcohol company. I don't know what it is. I think it's some type of liquor. But anyway, yeah. So we're doing it at nighttime because we'll update on our lives. Shit's pretty crazy right now in terms of the schedule. We're moving next week, so this will be the last episode in this house. The last time you're going to see this studio setup, which is kind of crazy.
Devastating.
And for the boys here, for me, I've been here chilling, so it's not that bad. But these guys raced in Birmingham last weekend, got back Sunday. Then they go to Prefontaine Classic on Thursday. They get back Sunday, and then we move Monday. So it's just like an absolute shit show in terms of scheduling. Because obviously when you get back from a trip, there's a lot of stuff you want to do. You want to get treatment. You got to do workouts and all that. So it's already hectic, and then we're moving on top of it. So times are kind of crazy right now. That's why we're doing it at nighttime, getting it done still for everyone. So it is nice to be here. I feel very relaxed right now. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good, actually. I had a little workout.
I didn't even ask I did ask how that was, but I don't think you heard me.
Yeah, I don't know. Just being pretty casual, just 10 by 1K. First time I've ever done that. So felt good, man. I don't know. I'm in this weird spot where I'm feeling good again. Haven't felt good in a while. I'm surprising myself how good I'm feeling, especially because I'm doing it solo, you know. I had 10 by 1K today, and I had, I think, 20 by 400 like a week or two ago. And these are workouts where the thought of doing them on my own, because I am doing them solo because I'm on a different schedule, the thought of doing them solo is really intimidating, but I don't know. I'm able to get out there and get them done. And yeah, they've been really good. Things are trending in the right direction. So, you know, should be racing next month. So, yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
It's coming up real quick. So that's pretty cool. That's what's going on for me. A little merch update for everyone. Unfortunately, I've just realized anytime you want to get anything done, like in life, it just takes fucking forever.
You gotta do it yourself.
Yeah, it just takes forever, man.
Maybe we should just buy a printer.
Yeah, just do it ourselves. Because I thought it was going to be a week or 2 week turnaround from when we gave them the clothes to get the like printed shirts and everything back, and they said 5 weeks when I emailed them yesterday. So still going to be a few more weeks before we get them, and then we'll do the pre-order and all that. So that's where we're at for that. But boring stuff out of the way. I think our first order of business today is going to be talking about, obviously, a little recap of Birmingham Diamond League.
Dude,
stop number 2.
You butchered that.
Was that bad?
Yeah, it was bad.
I didn't even think about that one. I was just... So, yeah, all of us, I think, got inundated with people telling us how bad our pronunciation... Well, did any of people tell you guys that you guys did it well? Because people told me that I did it really bad.
Criticism?
I don't know. Do you check your DMs, Ollie? I feel like you got a lot of unread DMs, so maybe they're tucked away in there.
Ollie gets too many DMs.
I don't really look at my DMs much. But
I just saw a bunch on Coffee Club.
I think Jordan, who's our on guy who's British, he's from Liverpool. He helps us pronounce Birmingham properly.
So what's the correct pronunciation?
Birmingham.
I think that was. I think just the H. Birmingham.
Am I doing it right?
That was good. That was
Birmingham?
good. I think.
Birmingham.
I think we're just used to saying Birmingham because of being in the States. And
Birmingham
in the
is
States.
in Alabama.
Birmingham.
No, that's
I can't even.
the more you say it, the worse it gets.
I can't even think of like a British accent to try to do it. So, whatever. The
Birmingham.
boys were there. How was it? Was Birmingham?
Well, Morgan, I'll tell you.
Tell me.
We went with Sage, and it was pretty easy, casual trip. I mean, Sage is pretty easy to travel with, so it was a lot of fun.
We're not, apparently.
According to Alicia Monson, we are difficult to travel with, which is surprising considering somebody that leaves her phone at every coffee shop we ever go to, and we have to go back to get it. So she's going to get roasted for that.
We're taking it very personally.
Very personally. I took it personally. But
Damn.
we took about 100 pounds of altitude equipment to...
I'd already I tried to forget that.
To Kingston. We stayed in Kingston for 3 days. So Ritz didn't read... You probably realised, this is a really cheap Airbnb. You beauty. Let's lock this in. We got 3 of the most low maintenance people on the team. It's going to be easy. No Wi-Fi, no AC. And then we plugged in the altitude machines and they just carked it. So for the Americans at home, carked it means they just died.
They carked it immediately.
Immediately. George tried to set it up.
Did it make a sound or just
Well,
went
no,
off?
One of them turned on.
Yeah, one of them didn't.
One of them didn't. Then we FaceTime Ritz. And then during the FaceTime with Ritz, second one carked it.
Just carked it. And it was funny because for me personally,
You guys didn't really want to bring
me, George, and Sage
We
didn't want to
really
bring them.
didn't want to bring
Sage
them.
was running an 800 and we were running a 1500. We didn't feel like we needed to bring them, and I think it was more stress to bring those tents all the way to London than it would be just to like not bring them and
Have
suffer
the good sleep.
not having altitude and having good sleep.
Yeah.
Which we're trying to get used to the time zone anyway, and we broke them. And Ritz was pretty
Problem solved though.
Problem solved. I mean,
Problem was solved.
Yeah.
The only other issue we had was we didn't have Wi-Fi, so we were kind of off the grid. Well, George was off the grid.
I was fully off the grid for like 2 days till I found a SIM card.
I think George's eyes were about to fall out of his sockets because he was just
What?
reading all the time.
Oh,
Too much
like,
reading.
I went through an entire Kindle battery in like 6 days.
That's
And
so impressive.
My Kindle, like 100% charge. That thing normally lasts like a couple of months. I
Kindles
swear.
last forever.
I went through an entire battery in 6 days.
We had a great trip
It
with
was like a
Sage.
book and a half. It was great.
Really fun. She was really fun, easy to travel with. Went to a couple of coffee shops, and then we also caught up with Chiggy, who's a New Zealand boy who ran the 10K. New Zealand man.
Yeah. Now the 8th fastest New Zealander over 10K.
What time do you run?
27:50.
27:50.
Yeah, but we got caught up with him for a run, and he's a fan of the pod.
Can I just say that's actually really impressive that 27:50 is the 8th fastest. That's a lot of fast New Zealanders in the 10K. I feel like I don't know if that would be quicker than the Australian list, but it would definitely be at least on par.
Be pretty
I would imagine.
close, yeah.
It's very impressive. Good job, New Zealand.
I think the record needs an update, I feel like, though.
What is that?
I think it's still either like 27:30 flat or it's like 27:28 or something.
Is that Villanova guy?
No, it's one of the Robertsons. who we might cover later.
yes.
I don't even know which one.
I forgot about those guys. They did that at the Com Games maybe or something.
Probably, yeah.
They did
One of them won. I think
yeah.
it was Zane. I think he medaled.
It was really impressive.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Right. Altitude machines, I think that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Because it was hard enough to sleep at night because of how hot it was already. Like, it was not.
We were also
cool.
sleeping in like Goldilocks beds where my feet were hanging out there.
Me and Ollie were on tiny beds.
So small, bro.
Classic.
Shocking.
I don't get what is up with Europe's disdain of top sheets.
Yeah, they don't like them.
I'm a big top sheet guy.
What
I
do you
don't
mean?
like
What do you
them.
mean by that?
Nowhere
just have
in
a
Europe
doona
has top
usually.
sheets. In Leuven,
Yeah.
no top sheets.
There's no sheet.
In
There's just a
Munich,
doona.
Just the bed.
in Munich,
Just
no
the
top
blankets.
sheet. It's just bottom
interesting.
sheet and then duvet.
Interesting.
Yeah, they
I don't
do
know
not, and then there's no like sheet in between.
Maybe
that
they're just
way.
going cheap on you. Maybe that's it because you're staying in like Airbnbs and other stuff.
I mean, the bed was pretty cheap that we were sleeping on, but like it was pretty good location. I mean, we went to like a pretty cool coffee place.
Did you go to
down on the Thames? We got some good beeries, some Helena beeries, and had
Thank you,
some
nice Helena
charcuterie
berry.
board and fish and chips, fish and chops,
Shakuchi.
charcuterie board. But no, it was good. And then we went and saw. We actually got to see some of Geordie's mates, Phoebe, who's a lawyer.
Ollie went full fanboy mode.
No, I restrained myself.
He was too nervous to ask real fanboy questions.
Yeah,
very
but
mature
we got to meet Bank.
yeah.
If anybody doesn't know Bank, just look him up. He's a musician. He's I
He didn't even
I got
have
a
a
crush
big
on him right
deal.
now.
Kind
He
of a
didn't
big
even
deal.
know about the pod.
No, he wants to be on it.
But he wants
Does
to
he
be on
actually?
it.
Yeah.
Let's
But
go.
he didn't know about it until
Yeah. The
then
best
he was super excited about it.
Yeah, he was like
Okay,
he was
good.
laughing about the attitude
Good,
machines
good.
as well. But he is coming to a concert in Denver, and he's got some tickies for the boys, so we'll
Let's
go and
go.
see him.
Tickies
Let's
for
go.
boys.
Gus has got a VIP pass.
That'd be sick.
He's going to be wearing a glow stick necklace
Get
that
Gus
he'll
on
be
stage.
going through and saying hello to everyone. Aren't you, Gus?
Maybe we'll get him to bring the RV up to the house. That'd be pretty.
That'd be pretty dope. Yeah, but no,
just be as groupies.
it was a
Yeah.
pretty cool, pretty sweet. Like I think the first 3 days in Kingston we had a lot of fun, pretty relaxing, and then we could go into like the business trip side when we got into Birmingham.
London would actually be a pretty damn good place to train.
Yeah,
Those-
Bushy
Well,
Park is
those-
good.
I mean, that's
Those parks
yeah.
are underrated.
That's
I mean,
why
they-
Teddington what it is. I mean, like that's
Yeah.
why people have trained there for. People have been based there for a
Yeah.
long time.
No
It's
Farah
just,
trains there.
it's just so expensive compared to Leuven, which is the other main spot for anyone that doesn't know. But Teddington is very historic. A lot of the canyons, because that's actually in Teddington is where I forget the name of it, but the agency is literally based in Teddington. That is the agent for Usain Bolt, Mo Farah, Matt Centrowitz. Like the biggest agency in the world is based in this random town, Teddington, on the outskirts of London. Well, I don't know if it's the outskirts, but it's kind of outside
It's
London.
pretty far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pretty far. It
So-
took us a while to get into like central London.
But like is it Bob Kennedy?
Mm-hmm.
He used to train. He used to be based
Yeah.
in Teddington because he would train with all the canyons and stuff there. So it has been, and then obviously Melbourne Track Club, and there's the university there. What's the name of the university?
St Mary's.
St Mary's, which is one
The
of the
track's getting resurfaced.
top spots for British athletes to go for university. So it definitely is a really good spot to be a runner.
Those parks are just incredible.
Oh my god!
London knows how to do a park, man.
Don't the deers in the park always surprise you how pretty they are and how many they are and how chill they are?
How big they
So
are.
chill.
Yeah,
It's crazy that they are just completely like fenced in,
yeah,
and they just spend their whole lives
yeah.
in that park. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah,
But it's
Nah,
cool. Like they
it
seem
is.
like they're having a good time.
It's pretty
I think
dope.
they are. You got to thank
They got
the
enough space.
what is it? The patriarchy for that? Because I think
Gotta thank the patient.
no, well, literally those
Well,
parks are hunting
We
grounds.
were reading.
That's
we
why
read
they
the
exist.
board.
Yeah, we did.
It was like Henry VIII's
Yeah.
hunting grounds, and then they're just those deer are just like the descendants
Yeah.
of these ones Henry VIII would go and shoot.
So thank you, Henry.
Cheers, Henry.
Cheers, Henry.
So yeah. So then you guys went
That
to
was
Birmingham.
Went
Yeah.
to Birmingham. Pretty easy trip in. Nice hotel. And then it was this business.
Peaky Blinders really just tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, I tell you what, Birmingham, sorry, wild place to go out.
Really?
Oh man,
What do you mean by that?
just the men and the ladies, they're just going.
They
fucking
don't
hard.
hold back.
They're
Rowdy?
going hard. I
It
kid you not.
was-
I'm pretty sure I saw about 50 to 60 women wearing bras as tops. Like they dress because they're ready to dance. They're
Dressed to impress.
ready to get after it. You know, have
Yeah,
a
was
good
also
I
time.
believe that.
It was not late. It was like 7:30, and there were people very close to falling in the canal. We were sitting on the canal
Really?
having dinner, and I was so ready to watch someone fall.
They,
in
they kept hitting the knob thing
Yeah.
on the
the
metal.
canals, just the restaurants go right up to the canal, and then there's there's like a meter of bricks before, and then there's nothing.
You
Like
just
there's no
fall in.
ledge, there's
Yeah.
nothing, and that's like you have to walk along there to get to the bars, and there's just a million drunk people walking along these
So many
canals.
people-
Girls
so
with
many
high
people must
heels.
fall.
And there's a
like,
bunch
just-
of those things you tie your boat to, like little mooring.
Yeah.
hooks.
little knobs.
Little knobs.
And 5 people tripped over them and almost ended up in the canal. It was crazy.
That's hilarious. I wonder if Birmingham is a spot for people to go for like the weekend to get
a lot
like
of stag do's.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at.
A lot of
It's like
bachelorette parties. That's
like
what I saw there.
Nashville or like Austin.
That's
type.
actually that's why a good comparison would be Nashville.
That's why they're getting so
'Cause
just getting
apparently-
after it.
Jordan was telling me there was like really good local like famous bars from like shows and stuff that like reality shows where people would go. So
That would make sense.
in Birmingham, but
Yeah.
let's get on to the race. So I mean, the stadium was sick because that's gonna be the Com Game Stadium. We got to check it out. It was pretty sweet.
It's going to be good. They're building some massive temporary stands. One of them was like still kind of getting put together, and they used the other side. And apparently they're sold out. There's going to be a lot of people there.
Like
Sweet.
40,000, I think, is the capacity.
It's like double
That's
the
sweet.
capacity of Worlds, which is kind of crazy to think
Well, this
about.
is only like 20,000.
no,
less.
It's 18.
18
Are
apparently.
you kidding me?
Yeah. That
What the
whole
hell?
stadium. plus temporary
The way
seating
they're
is
hitting
only
the quota
18,000.
is they're going to have 18, like they're splitting up all the sessions so they can have 30,000 a day because they promised 30,000
Oh
a
my
day.
Yeah, but it's like
God.
morning and evening.
But it's morning and evening.
That's
so
annoying.
it's not really.
That's so silly.
Yeah.
What the hell, Eugene?
Dude, Hayward Magic.
Get your shit together, Eugene.
Hayward Magic, guys. Let's go.
The weird thing is they make, like, Hayward Field makes 18,000 or whatever the capacity is look really big. Like, if that makes sense, it looks like way more. But then other
That's what she
stadiums, other stadiums make 40,000 look pretty casual. It's weird. But yeah, so stadium was sick.
Stadium was dope. Yeah, and then I mean, it was pretty sweet setup what they had there. We got into the race and it was pretty funny because you know, you have 16, 17 in the line. We did get some coffee club yell outs. We got some Geordie yell outs. It was
Hell
good.
yeah.
Good
So
vibe.
there's New Zealand flag in the crowd.
There was a New Zealand flag in the
That
crowd.
was sweet.
That's epic.
Anyway, gun goes off. Somebody hits the ground, and they don't call it back. Which is the rule is, if people don't know, is that from 100 meters, if there is a fall, you have to call the race back. And
I'm
there was
questioning if that's
there
a
was
rule.
a big fall. No, it is. It is
Just
in the
based on
rules.
how many times I've seen it not
How
happen.
many times? I've seen it
because
so many times.
nobody's called it up, and if you do call it up, you can protest it and just get advanced to the next round if it's a championship
Remember
race.
Mohamed and
Yeah.
Eric Uppbeat? That was in
That's
the
what I was
first
thinking.
like 15
Yeah, they didn't
meters.
call it back. They were supposed to call it back. They never call it back.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I feel like I've seen it in cross country races before, maybe, but that is just weird. So
Anyway, he went down.
That was Piers Copeland, who we
Piers
did
Copeland.
mention. We mentioned him on the podcast
Yeah.
last week as like someone who would be
Potentially got a
excited
good
to see
race.
how he's going to do.
Yeah, 50 meters he got in.
Yeah,
That's how much of a Diamond League race he got. 50 meters.
blew straight out the side of his spike.
Yeah, it was
It's a
pretty
crazy
impressive.
photo.
Pretty impressive, and he also left in a sling. So hopefully he's okay.
So he went
Rough
down real
weekend.
hard, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn.
But from my
And then 2 laps to go right after
yeah,
that.
so we go straight to the start. It's a Diamond League race, guys. Diamond League, you know, one of our highest leagues to get in to race in.
The highest league.
The highest league, if you would say it. And they didn't get the lap counter right for 1500, and they rang the bell a lap early. So I yelled out to everyone. I know everyone knew, but I yelled out just to be sure we have 2 laps because
Did you really?
yeah,
That's
That is
hilarious.
pretty comical that that's possible in a Diamond League.
they rang the bell lap that early. It's like it cracked me up.
Yeah.
We all laughed at the end, but I was like, this is like kind of annoying.
It's such an obvious mistake in a 1500.
At
Like,
least it is an obvious mistake in a
Yeah.
1500.
Like in a 10K,
you would
yeah.
like start doubting yourself. You'd,
100%.
you had no idea how many laps you had.
yeah, that's hilarious that happened.
Yeah, but
Someone's getting fired for that. I mean,
oh,
they're
yeah.
probably volunteers, but
I'm sure the Muller yogurt company will assassinate whoever
yeah.
jeopardized that. But for me personally, just to chat about my race, I got out well. I got into position behind Kipsang, which was my plan, and then my plan was to put myself in a position to win it, and I did, and I just didn't have the last 100 meters. But you know, it's a good start to the season, and a 3rd place is always good in a Diamond League, so I'm pretty happy with it, and that's all I have to say. I just laughed about the lap counter, and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
third
pretty much
place is freaking good.
It was awesome. I mean, it was very cool, especially because I don't know if you guys saw anyone post about this, but on the last lap, they had the camera right next to you. Was there a vehicle on the
Wait,
track?
It was like a motorbike. Like
It was a
just
motorbike?
in like lane
it was like
4.
a four-wheeler.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I've
So-
never seen that before. It was just driving around.
So, because that's what it looked like.
It
Because
made the stream look
oh,
cool.
it was so epic to see, and that was on the backstretch. I think it was the whole last lap that they did on that, pretty much until the end. And on the backstretch, you could see Ollie come up, pretty much like right alongside Kipsang and right there with everyone. So, man, you definitely put yourself in the right spot and went for it, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah, just haven't hit speed work yet. So.
I knew you wanted to say that.
I haven't hit speed work yet.
It was a good rust buster.
It's a good rust buster for me, and I haven't hit speed work yet. # no time trial. But yeah, no, I was really happy with it. It's just when you're there and you wanna go and
You
couldn't
wanna win?
go.
Yeah.
You want to win, you don't. It's
Yeah.
a bit disappointing, but it was a great race, and I'm really happy with 3rd. And yeah, and shout out also to Sage was 4th in her 800, which was sweet.
Sorry, that was my alarm.
No,
Take my medication.
take your meds.
Yeah.
Sage got 4th in her 800, which was really awesome.
Well, why are we talking about Sage? George hasn't even talked about his
Well, I was
race
just
yet.
going to mention that, and then George can go into his thing.
Okay.
So yeah, Sage got 4th. Shout out to Sage. Pretty
That
awesome
was
race.
epic.
Excited for her to run more 800s in the future. And
this week, in fact.
yeah, this week in Pre.
Yeah.
I was in Oz race.
Yeah. Yeah. How was it for you? Because you obviously went to the back and then you kind of worked through the field, but it was a big field. And it was a weird race as well, because if you were at the front, obviously you can respond to stuff pretty well. But I think from me watching it and seeing how you raced it, it would seem difficult because it was very unpredictable, because there was some pretty big slowdowns, I would say, at kind of unexpected times, because Stewie was at the front behind the pacemaker. And if you've watched Stewie race before, you expect when the pacemaker drops off for Stewie to keep the pace going. But obviously he's dealing with some stuff right now, and that didn't happen. So then there was a big slowdown at some point, and everyone had to go around. So you had a lot of stuff to navigate, because, I mean, if you're at the back of a race with that many people and it's that slow, not that it's like it was crazy slow, but it was slow enough that everyone's going to be there, you know? So,
yeah. I mean, went to the back is like one way of putting it. More just, I'm physically incapable. Jesus.
Sorry, that's Gus trying to get up.
Gus wants to rejoin the boys.
Come on.
I'm already the worst person at getting offline the first 100 meters. And then put that into effect, I was on the very inside with 17 people.
You were.
On the outside, which was kind of a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they had much of an effect. But if you want to get to the front and you're on the inside, I guess you either have to be like last or first if you're on the inside.
It's true.
You can't make any moves halfway down the straight.
Yeah.
And just like go around people.
Not that level of. Like,
unless you pull a Stewie McSwain. Have you seen how Stewie does it?
Well, true.
He kicks from 100 to 200.
Yeah,
to like
he
200
jogs
300.
the first 100 and then just books it. I should have tried that.
Should have tried the Stewie.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Next time
I'll try that.
Me and George made Mokatir laugh. I made him laugh initially by doing a massive burp when we're about to go out to the thing. I just let it go a burp. He just turned around and giggled. And then when we were doing a cool down, pretty much Geordie just did the exact same thing, and he turned around and laughed again. So he's a bit of a fan of the burping. So we're gonna keep bringing that up and be friends with Mo.
He's a funny guy, but yeah.
I mean, I was happy with my last 600 probably, but at that point it was. I mean, you're just too far back.
Everyone's gonna be closing so quick.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I closed in a similar rate to the people at the front. But if you're already 20 meters back, you're probably gonna finish 20 meters back.
It's true. That's the reality.
I mean, getting to the front of those races is pretty essential, and it's also pretty difficult.
Yeah. Those guys don't mess around at the front. I mean, you've seen how Ollie does it. He goes out so hard.
His first 100 meters is insane.
So does everyone else, to be fair. They really all do. Like they all get out so hard in the 1500 now, because you just, especially that many people, you have to. So I mean, it was a good effort.
Whose first 100 was the same?
Yeah.
I'm definitely just like I definitely just can't get comfortable like the first lap of that kind of race. It feels like I haven't moved for like half an hour, because the call room is half an hour before the race. So I feel like I just sit down for like 30 minutes before trying to sprint off the line. And then I just felt like I'd been standing still until like 700, like just after 800, I felt like I was like running again.
Damn.
But by that point, it's like way too late.
Oh, you should have given him some massage or something, keep him warm.
I was
Give him a little rub down.
I was massaging him a lot, don't you worry.
That's good.
No, I think as well, like, it's just getting used to that type of racing.
Yeah.
And like that's George's first debut Diamond League 1500 with a field that's pretty seasoned.
That's right. I don't need to get used to that kind of racing, because it seems like this is my last 1500 for a while.
Full-time 5K.
Huh?
Full-time 5K?
Dude, I don't know what happened. It seemed like it was like running some 1500s and then like maybe one 5K. And then all of a sudden it switched. I was just 5K, one 1500. Just really sneaked up on me.
Just got sneaky.
You know what we call that? We call that the Ritz effect.
Yeah, the Ritz
Next
effect.
thing you know, you'll be racing the marathon. No.
I think it was inevitable. I always felt like that was where it was going to go eventually.
Yeah.
Well, what about...
But I still want to be able to run like a good 1500.
There's another event, though, that Rich has been teasing.
Not for a long
Shut the
time.
fuck up.
That was like a year ago.
He was teasing it. I mean, you were practicing for it in some form.
Well, go on, say it.
Steeplechase.
Yeah.
Rich thinks you're going to be like the next next
I don't think
big
he
guy
thinks
in the
that
steeple.
anymore, though.
Well, probably because he thinks like he's actually good at like without the hurdles. So
He's pretty damn good without the
yeah,
hurdles.
so he doesn't need the hurdles.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
I would,
George. I
I'd
don't
love
think
to see
George
George
wants
to a
to.
steeple though.
I
I
would
think
love to
George would be
see it.
really good.
But I don't think
But-
George wants to run a steeple.
No.
So, do you want to run a steeple?
Not this year, I don't.
Okay.
Wouldn't mind like trying, just tasting it out, testing the
Yeah.
waters.
Got to do the classic Sean McGorty after the season. Do a 2K steeple time trial. That's what he did. Like the year, but I
The
think
year before he actually ran.
I think that's what he did, and I think he went pretty well. I think he went pretty quick for it. So
He
yeah,
seems like he's bailed on that for now.
he has actually. I mean, he's running
Also got
so quick.
Achilles surgery,
Yeah,
so maybe that was why.
yeah.
I could have done it.
Once you get the 10K standard in your first 10K,
For the bowel movement tri club, you know, anything's possible.
So true, so true.
what else about the race?
Yeah, what else happened?
Well,
Do we want to talk about Josh Kerr?
Oh yeah, 2-0 baby, let's go. I'm 2-0 up. That's the first thing that happened when I left to like talk to the fan. Like this British guy goes, "You're 2-0 up on Josh Kerr. How does it feel?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, Josh was in the race."
Yeah.
No, I mean I got to chat with Josh afterwards. He was pretty chill. You know, he doesn't like losing. Like everybody in that race doesn't like
Yeah.
losing. So, he's got that sweet deal with Muller.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about this because I
have
doubt
to.
I doubt many people
Well, no.
listening knew about because I had no idea about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, what happened
So-
with him and Muller, which is a yogurt company for
So
people
there was a
don't know.
tweet out because they do obviously interviews and stuff, and he was headlining the meet, being an Olympic bronze medalist and from the UK. So he was headlining it, and they do interviews and questions and stuff. And he says this quote, which I really liked, and I think it was pretty cool and funny as well. He says, "I'm not here to be on a yogurt cup. I'm here to race. I'm here to win races and compete." And the whole thing with the yogurt cup is that Muller is like a massive sponsor for British athletics.
Yeah,
Like they put
huge.
millions of pounds into UK, and they have like them as celebrities. Like there's advertisements with athletes. I think Laurel Muir's on like
Literally on TV commercials.
Yeah, on TV commercials with Muller like yogurt,
They're huge.
or as you call yogurt. But the funny thing was that tweet just went like down this rabbit hole of like people just roasting Josh because it's like, how dare you talk about this? Like this brand's like been supporting me and like supporting like British athletics. Like you have no idea. Like, and then he's just getting roasted for it. And then he's just trying to respond and like backtrack it and say like, hey bro, I'm just saying I'm here to race. I'm not saying like having anything against advertisement and stuff. But I'm just saying my motivation isn't to just like be on a yogurt cup. It's to win races. And he just went down this rabbit hole.
I feel like he probably didn't realize what he was saying when he said it. Because have you noticed he always feels the need to make sure everyone knows that he's there to race and not do other stuff, which is like, have you noticed he does that at every race? He's like, I don't care about the other stuff. I'm here to race. And it's like, well, so is everyone else. Like, why do you have to tell everyone that you're here to race? Like, are you trying to prove that you are more here to race than the other people? Because these other people are on yogurt commercials and probably get paid a shit ton of money. Does that mean that you are more there to race than them? And it's kind of a classic what came first, chicken or the egg, because you get in the yogurt commercial by racing really well. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe he's like leading us astray and he's actually doing all that stuff. He's just trying to make us believe that.
I mean, I don't know. If they offered him enough money, I'm sure he's going to be in the next yogurt commercial. That's all I'm saying.
We were joking about it on the cool down. He said that like you just put an angry face of Josh, like don't eat me, yogurt, Muller. I'd definitely have that.
Yeah.
Little Josh Kerr Muller yogurt cup.
He does want people to know he's very serious about racing when he's at a
very
race.
serious.
But that's because he doesn't race that much.
You reckon?
Well, he's
Yeah.
racing more now, but like last season he didn't race at all, really.
I feel like he did.
He raced it
yeah.
rarely. He rarely raced compared to this season. I feel like he's doing more races because
Yeah.
he's got a bigger name,
Yeah.
obviously.
What else is he doing? Is he running Oslo?
No,
So what's he doing?
Probably UK champs next one
I
for
think
him.
he's got UK champs. Yeah, but he's going back to Albuquerque to get some training in. #attitude training.
Dude, we get made fun of him at Boulder for Boulder not being high enough altitude. What's Albuquerque, like 4,000 feet or something?
No, isn't it higher than?
No, I think it's about the same as here.
Oh, shit.
It's
Alright,
like-
I take
it's
back everything
right-
I just said.
It's
It's
low,
right at 5.
in the Ingi index. It's low altitude.
No, I think it's like medium sea level.
Medium sea level. That's
Yeah,
what it
it's
was.
not
It's
even...
like sea level, medium altitude.
High altitude.
Altitude.
And then high altitude.
High altitude.
That's Kosciuszko. That's like Kosciuszko. That's like Everest and shit.
Mount Everest is high altitude. Can't wait to train there.
Apparently, there's resurfacing a track up there right now.
Hell yeah.
Do you think he uses an altitude machine ever?
Who?
Ingy.
Ingy?
Well, we heard that.
I mean, I can ask him in our group chat.
We heard that they were illegal in Norway. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
Gert was telling Dathan at Gateshead last year at the Diamond League saying that like they've been pushing and pushing.
So
and
they
pushing.
must. Well, they must.
No, I think he
They
uses
must believe
them.
in them though.
But I'm sure in other countries.
No, but I think
do,
they use them in other countries.
Yeah.
if they can. Maybe the Norwegian Federation wouldn't let you do it if it's illegal in Norway. I don't know, but they definitely fucking love altitude. I'll tell you that much.
Big
They
altitude
love
boys.
it more than Reds.
That's a dude. They'd have to square off about that one. Maybe they do though, because if you think about it, they spend way more time in considerably higher altitudes than we do. If you look at Flagstaff or Sierra Nevada, which is in Spain, which is similar to Flag, I think.
Great beer.
Yeah.
And St. Moritz.
And the same rates, which is I
How high
wonder-
is St. Moritz?
It's
like
not too much
6,
higher.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit high. Yeah, something like that. But I wonder, you can stay a lot higher in St. Moritz as well. Like your hotel or whatever can be higher.
Oh yeah. So who used to do that?
Bauman.
Oh no, it was only one guy. I think it was just
Oh.
Chris Zielinski or something.
What'd you say?
Oh, really?
It's bowel movement.
Sorry, bowel movement.
I think just Chris Zielinski would like.
He'd go to the top of the mountain.
He was like he wouldn't get any benefits in town, so he had a hotel up the mountain somewhere, and he would go up every night, sleep up there, come back down in the morning.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But this is a good time. So a few people have been sending in requests for, well, not requests, but
Request.
yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of a request. They want to give us potential nicknames for certain people because I guess last time we talked about we didn't really have a nickname for Joshko, which Ollie does have a nickname for it, but it's not PG-13 appropriate.
Correct.
So we have to come up with a more G-rated one. And
Also, none of our nicknames are supposed to be too mean.
They're supposed to be
they're not
endearing.
meant to
It's
be
supposed to
that.
be endearing.
They're not meant to be
It's supposed to be endearing.
Exactly.
yeah, so
So we've been waiting for a new one.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I got I was thinking of Josh Curry.
So that's
Well,
here
that's
we
what
go.
one that's what so these are the two that were sent in that I saw. Tim sent in one which was he was going for the curry aspect, so
Yeah.
he's going for like a Rogan Josh curry,
Yeah, Rogan. Oh, that's a good
like
line.
a
I like
Rogan
that.
Josh, because that's a
Rogan
type
Josh.
of
I think just Rogan Josh is like pretty damn good.
Rogan Josh. So that's option A, and then option B is from Ruby, and it's this one's actually pretty funny as well because it's based on it includes David Ribich. It's
Ribeye?
the sit and kick duo, and it would be changing both their names to become Ribich to become Ribbit, and then Kerr to become Kermit. So
Oh, Kermit Ribbit.
Ribbit and Kermit.
Dude, I'm actually
Kermit.
Ruby. I got your
Kermit is pretty
message. I think that's the one.
good. Kermit the Frog.
You got
Or
Josh Kermit
Rogan-
and David Ribich. That's pretty good.
David Ribbit.
That's pretty good, Ruby. That's class.
That is pretty cool. The,
Yeah, I like that a
the
lot,
two
actually.
frog-based ones.
David Ribbit and Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
The two frog
Josh
banter.
Kermit.
Hashtag banter.
Hashtag banter.
Rogan
indeed.
Josh is good too though.
That is, I think maybe
Rogan
we
Josh.
can use. There's
we
no.
can use both.
You definitely
Yeah.
don't need. I think Shaq had like 13 nicknames in his career. So
I mean, we have different names for different. Like we mix it
yeah,
up.
just depending on a mood. Sometimes you're in a Rogan Josh mood, and sometimes you're in a
Kermit mood.
Kermit mood. You know, it's
Thanks,
fine.
Ruby and Tim.
Thank you.
the other one that was sent to us, which is a little more. I don't know. I'm not as confident about this one, but you're the nickname man, so we'll see what you say about this, Ollie. So you've been calling Jakob Ingi.
My boy. Yeah, Inky.
Hamish said that we should start referring to all the Ingebrigtsens by combining the first letter of the name and Inky. So you would call it Jakob Jingy, or
So you got
Yi-
Jingy, Fingy,
and Hingy,
and Hingy.
and Gingy for Gert.
I mean, I would do
That's
that.
actually really
That's
funny.
That
very
sounds
good.
like names for like not like the Grinch, the Whoville people.
Yeah.
Jingy, Hingy.
I think
System.
that's really common
System.
in New Zealand.
Really?
A lot of people,
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of my mates were called like something with their first name and last name like combined. I had two
Really?
sets of brothers I was in boarding who I lived with, where their first names there was like Morgan and Todd, and their
Yeah.
last name was Innes, so they were Tinnis and Minnis.
That's sick. I was trying to do it for us. It doesn't really work for any of us.
You got to have a last name that starts with a vowel normally.
Yeah.
That's how it works well.
Because what would we be?
I'm just a whore.
Yeah, just
You would be Ohor.
Yeah.
You'd be
I'm Chicago. No, you know,
Doesn't
like
work.
Gimme? No.
You would just still be a McDonald's.
Yeah, I'd still be in McDonald's. So
Doesn't work.
Damn it! I wonder,
But anyway,
dude. Do we have nicknames?
Well, I was thinking one for myself because you know how like you got the airport Chicago O'Hare.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Keith,
Oh yeah,
but you
Keith.
got-
Obviously, that's the obvious one.
obviously, Chicken Boy.
Chicken Boy Morgs, McDick Balls, my favorite,
Thank you.
and then the Beamish. I don't know what to call George other
George
than
is a-
Geordie,
See, you got George and Geordie. So
but
you got
he
those.
goes by George. He doesn't like Geordie.
Yeah, and then an actual nickname. Because we also just call him Beamish a lot.
Tripod.
That's what Jenna calls him. I was wondering why she always calls him that.
That's what his name is. Tripod. I mean, that's why like with workouts and stuff, George can just like lean forward and he's already like
Just
resting
recovering.
with 3 legs, you know.
Okay. Send through
No.
some suggestions.
Are you gonna have
if you
to?
got 'em.
Are you gonna have to tell your parents not to listen to this one now?
I might have.
That's hilarious. All right, so nicknames solved. Josh Kerr yogurt story solved. Bro, just don't make fun of Muller, man. They give British athletics like $1 billion.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, they do better than Australian athletes.
Yeah.
Our best sponsor is Chemist Warehouse, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they're not giving £1 million and putting us in
Yeah.
commercials. So.
no, it's just a funny situation.
I mean,
It is.
to be 100% honest, like the actual quote, I didn't find anything wrong with it because he's not dissing the yogurt. He's just saying he's here for the reason to race. He's not like preoccupied with
he's kind of
advertising.
dissing the. Well, it's a bit of reach, but he's kind of dissing the people that do the yogurt commercial. Then
He's
no?
dissing the athletes more than the
was
brand.
just-
Then
What did we think he was there for? Everyone knew he was there
Yeah,
to fucking race.
That's what I'm saying.
No shit, he's there to race.
no,
he's on
I
the
think
list.
I heard
Why does he need
rumor.
to tell us that?
I heard rumor he was pretty jealous about our pen setup and him and Ribeye Ribbit. We're gonna do a little banter walk around with their sit and kick at Birmingham, but they just couldn't get the funding.
Dude,
Yeah.
that would have been hilarious. But he definitely goes on a bit of a Conor McGregor thing where he wants to just be like, I'm not here to take part, I'm here to take over type shenanigans. And like, that's cool. I mean, it was cool like 5 years ago.
Jake Reitman.
What'd you call him? Reitman?
Jake Whitecastle.
It's Jake Whiteman.
Whiteman.
He told me that Kerr's like pretty posh Scottish guy.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's from like
I
a
heard
posh
he's
area.
British. No,
No,
that's,
he's
that's
Scottish.
Jake. Okay, he's Scottish.
Whiteman is British.
He's also Scottish. They're
And
both
Scottish. Yeah.
Okay, but so Whiteman's the one that actually grew up in England, though. Yeah,
Did
I was confusing them. I think he mostly grew up in England, and definitely went to university in England, but he represents Scotland. I think that's his choice.
Jake Whitecastle did.
Yeah, I believe so. See him. Hey, you'll see him at the Com Games. He'll be wearing the Scottish kit.
The Scottish
He will
team is easily the best British team.
Yeah, by far.
crazy.
The English have got some work to do.
Yeah,
The English are getting better.
George
though.
Treadmills is trying to get on that team from OSC Europe.
Good.
You just come out that one. That was
Yeah.
really good.
Nice. That's such an obvious one.
Yeah, treadmills.
Yeah,
What's
George
up,
Treadmills.
Treadmills?
We also got to see him as well. He's on OSC Europe, and we got to catch up with him for coffee. He's a good bloke. He looks like the top of a paintbrush when you like painted it white because he's got this hair like he's trying to copy the best Instagram of all time, Robert Farkin with
That
like
guy
this
doesn't need a nickname.
blonde hair. No, Robert Farkin. I mean, I can think of a couple of nicknames for him, but Robin Far Out Farkin. Jeez,
Yeah.
his Instagram is something you
Something
guys
else.
should check out. The best quote I'll let you guys know from his Instagram is "April can't fool me," and then he got a stretch reaction in his pelvis. So
Oh, don't say that.
April-
That's kind of
April did
mean.
fool him.
That's kind of mean.
Well, it did,
We're sorry,
unfortunately.
we're sorry that happened to you, Robert.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's getting in the recovery, and he'll be back stronger than ever. Because I tell you what, if you want motivation, that guy has it on his Instagram.
Yeah, but that was such a funny chain of things to talk about. Because the reason it was just they just both bleached their hair blonde, and now
and they're both pretty boys too. They're both very good looking.
and now the thing with George is now his hair's grown out a lot. So
Yeah.
it's blonde on top,
So
but
it
it's
looks like a
brown
paintbrush.
under. So the paintbrush, yeah.
Whereas Robert, I think Farkin's hair is like pretty white
Really,
still, like pretty blonde. I think he just got natural blonde hair and good looks.
pretty
Dude,
good
I think
looking.
OSC Europe has us with the looks, man. Their whole team is so good looking. It's like a boy band.
It's
I
just
don't know.
very, very clean cut team.
They look
They're
very
One
European.
Direction and we're
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran. We got the hits, but we're not good looking.
Beards and like you guys are pretty rough.
So
Those
rugged.
guys are shit.
Yeah, very, very
Shit.
pretty. Like Jonas.
Trimmed back inside.
Yeah, I think they all just do look European, and then we just look like we went to
Bombs.
college in the US, and then you just don't care anymore, I guess. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really want to be. I can't imagine us being pretty boys. Like, all short haircuts, always shaved, you know? I mean, maybe we can try it eventually. Maybe if we get
good.
bigger. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that at all.
I think I'm better looking not being like that.
This guy.
This fucking
This
guy.
guy.
No, I generally think that. I
Flashes
think
his baby
if
blue
I
eyes.
tried to do the pretty boy look, I just wouldn't be. I wouldn't look real.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
can't pull it off.
anyway.
Moving
Moving
I don't
on.
know what we're.
I think we've
What we're up
talked
to.
about everything we need to talk about. With that, I think we can move on to Prefontaine, which is happening this weekend, which is one
Straight
of the
back into it.
one of the biggest, maybe the biggest meet of the year in terms of the Diamond Leagues. Prefontaine.
Apart from the final, I would
yeah,
say
apart
so.
from the final.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I guess we're really biased because it's the only US one. So
I wonder if
we're
we
in
are
the US.
biased.
Yeah.
I wonder if other people would.
We must be
You
biased.
guys are
actually, now
definitely
that I think
biased
about
because
it.
I
What
believe
would you
Eugene
say
Hayward
the
is
top?
overrated.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
what would you say after Zurich? Which one?
Would be awesome. The Dream Mile in Oslo.
I
Yeah.
didn't say what would be awesome. Which was the next biggest meet?
Oslo Dream Mile.
That's not a meet.
Is it?
It's just-
Yeah.
Oslo
Do you
Diamond
think
League
Oslo
is a
Diamond
meat.
League.
Do
Dream
you think
Mile is a
Oslo-
race. Bowman
Oslo
Mile
Diamond
is a race.
Do you think Oslo Diamond League is one after Zurich?
No, I think Rome is, isn't it?
No, I'm asking you.
What are you asking me?
Yeah. What are you asking in terms of like hype?
Yeah.
Oh,
In terms of
he's-
hype,
in
I
terms of hype.
personally, okay, for my personal opinion, I think the Dream Mile is more prestigious for me as an international foreigner than the
Well,
Bowman
we're
Mile.
talking.
Okay, I'm
No,
not
we're talking
talking
about
about the race.
Yeah, we're talking about the whole meet.
The
just
whole
the
meet
meet.
itself.
Yeah.
Well, you got the US 10K trials coming up too. So for me, yeah, that's definitely going to play a factor in it as well.
Well, Prefontaine is massive because it's the most Nike sponsored one. Nike does sponsor. I think it even sponsors like a lot of them. They're involved, even Oslo. But Prefontaine is the main one that Nike is like to all. And Nike obviously sponsors like
Well, it
by
makes
far
sense
the
'cause
best
it's like
athletes, and they
not
get
very far from Beaverton where they're founded, right?
yeah. So Prefontaine is the
Sure.
one where they say to all their athletes, you have to come race here. So
Except for some who aren't racing.
yeah, I mean
You can get out of it.
yeah, but so I think for that reason, it generally is extremely stacked
Yeah.
across the board. So it is a big one, and as Ollie just mentioned, it's also doubles as the US 10K trials, which is kind of crazy. I wonder how many times the US has split up the 10K from the rest of its trials, because that's really normal in other countries. I think
I think
that's
it's like a
standard.
first time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in the US
Because I
before.
remember when Ritz was coming back from Leuven, he said that he had like a conversation with like people organizing the meets, and they said like they were suggesting doing it for the first time, like separating it because it was going to be too close to world champs. The recovery time for a 10K is like, and also to be able to
interesting.
back up the 5K, I think they wanted to be able to give like a 10K separate so that a lot of athletes could come back for the 5.
Yeah, so that's why they made that decision.
I
I'm
think
surprised
that's
they
why,
haven't done it before this.
Yeah, it's
Must have been a different situation.
see the thing with the US is I think the US is the one country that is able to put on a US trials that essentially exactly mirrors the Olympics or the World Champs, because that's what they do. They
Number of days.
they make the
schedule.
schedule the exact same, and so you can see the value in doing that in terms of
Definitely.
picking a team. Like you want, if someone wants to double at the World Champs or the Olympics, well, sure you can double at the trials. It does make sense from that perspective the way they do it. So I think that's probably the biggest reason why they haven't done it like that before. But yeah, so Prefontaine, what are you guys racing?
I am racing the mile.
5K.
Hell
That's
yeah.
the other reason pre is big actually as well. I feel like because one of the only ones that's 2 days. Most diamond
Yeah.
leagues are not a 2 day.
The London Diamond League used to be.
London was.
Yeah.
Seems
Well,
to have disappeared.
Disappeared, yeah.
dude, there's like this freaking meat is like an onion. There's so many layers to it because you have the US
Onion.
10K and then you have these world record attempt meet
That aren't diamond league
that are-
meets.
that are on
Yeah.
they're on the Friday, correct?
Uh-huh.
And there's a men's 5K, and is there a women's 5K and 10K? What are the women?
Well, there was supposed to. It's all been changed just recently, I think. There's definitely men's 5K world record attempt, women's 2 mile world record attempt, and there was the 1 hour. That girl was going for the 1 hour world
I didn't
record,
even know that.
but that got scrapped. Apparently, she doesn't want to do that anymore.
Interesting.
So I think she's gonna go for the 5K world record instead, isn't she?
Yeah, that probably makes more sense. 1 hour, 5K.
What are you
Same
gonna do,
thing.
right?
Really,
Gonna do the
really,
5K
really the
It's so
same
complicated.
thing.
But I mean, there's pretty good couple of hours of track.
Yeah,
No, it's gonna be pretty.
Friday.
It's gonna be pretty
where are you going to go
Blockbuster
watch?
heavy hitters coming in.
Lot of heavy hitters.
Lot of hitters coming in. We should mention from who our team is actually racing.
Yeah, we should.
From the week. So we got Alicia and Joe doing the 10K trials. Big surprise.
Clicks memes.
We also got Jonas running in
Yes.
the 1500.
Did we just announce that he's on our team? Ooh.
That was-
I announced that he was racing.
You said you were going to name people from our team that are racing.
Okay. I don't think anyone.
Well,
cares.
Jonas has been training with our team, and I
Just
associated him. So he is going to run the 1500, which is going to be sweet because we've gone very fond of Jonas, particularly Morgan. And then
We
we're
like to
going
touch
to
each other.
Particularly Morgan.
then we got Sage just got into the 800, which is
Awesome.
awesome. I think Mo is actually out. She's not running it. She was the one that dropped. Kate Grace is also out.
Easy dub then.
Easy dub for Sage. Cash the check now.
Do you guys know if is Keely? Is that her name?
Hoskinson? No, she's not.
Keely?
Running.
I just had a really funny thought.
What?
Keely is running, I think. Wait, right?
Hoskinson? I don't know if she is.
She's Nike sponsored.
She's Nike sponsored.
When you just said easy dub, Cash, Jimmy, I was just on the phone too earlier. We were just chatting about running stuff and how prize money works in running and how it's quite a slow process and it's like kind of complicated and you don't know where it's coming from.
Very slow process.
Yeah. He was like, oh, what? Dude, I thought that just happened like as soon as you cross the line. He's
Just
like,
give
you
it to
should
you?
just
Yeah.
like cross the line with your chip and immediately just transfer it to your bank account.
That'd be sick.
Just give you,
That's such a good idea.
didn't they used to give you cash?
Well, so this is the thing: it's the diamond leagues, it's the big money ones that have all this shit going on, and they take 9 months to pay you sometimes, and that's the diamond leagues. But it is the small meets. For example, if you go to Kyle Merber's meet, they give you, or like Morton Games, they give you the money the day of, which is sick. So the smaller ones still do that because obviously it's just so much more simple for them to do it. But yeah, the big ones, dude, they got so much shit going on, and it's just you're just waiting forever, and it's
That's
like,
crazy, yeah.
man, am I getting paid or not?
Pretty wild.
Imagine if like those chips that in your shoes or on your bibs or something somehow
Connected
like
to your bank
you
account.
just cross the line immediately transfer to your bank account.
That's a future I would like to live in.
How funny
Let's
would
make that
be?
happen. That'd be dope. But so
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right.
that was a nice thought. I think that was everyone from the team.
I think that is everyone, and it's going to be awesome.
You are the lone representative of non-Sid brand sponsored. The only person in the mile.
Really?
Not sponsored by Nike. That's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
That's crazy.
I just checked it too. Well, no, wrong. Because Colin Salmon
He's a high
is in
school.
high school.
Yeah, but
So, he'd
But he'd be wearing a Nike top.
and Newbury Park is Nike.
yeah,
Yeah,
they have
he'd
that
be wearing a
NXN
Nike top.
Nike top they wear.
So I'm the only one that's not Nike.
Is Mo Kazia
Dude,
not
what a world
racing?
we live in.
No,
No.
it's
okay.
not.
Damn. And so also,
A lot of responsibility.
yeah, dude, imagine if you go win that. That'd be such a good look.
That would be so.
We'll get a massive banner of that.
Yeah.
That'd be epic.
Yeah.
And hopefully you do win. Not only
I'd love
because
to win,
not
yeah.
only because you obviously want to win, but then also you won't get punched in the face. Do you
Well,
reckon-
I don't have to win to not get punched in the face. I just have to be a certain individual to not get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Both individuals.
Both of the individuals, actually, yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be 2 punches.
Well, it's alright. I've been making sure I've been doing some chin exercises.
So you can take it.
I mean, it's probably not going to hurt. They'll probably break their wrists, but
Ooh.
maybe they should use their elbows. I've been
Yeah.
watching Reacher. They should use their elbows because they'll probably get better hit and it'll hurt more.
That's valid. But this is probably a good time to talk about Cooper Tier's Instagram that he just did yesterday because it was like hilarious.
We're living rent free, mate.
Dude,
Rent free in
okay.
that guy's head.
This is my thing. I love Cooper Tier. I absolutely love him. And
But he does.
So do I,
I
actually.
think he's so funny, but he's really cool. He's a really cool guy. And
Where's the butt here?
so this I'm about to get to. But there are certain people who I would think that stuff that like we talk about or that fans talk about would just you wouldn't even like take it in and you would just let it like you could see it maybe, but like you're just like, oh, that's just them just saying random shit. But I legitimately feel like he lets the stuff get to him now. And what I'm referring to is, so on his Instagram, I mean, there's a few layers to his Instagram as well. We'll go to the hashtags first. He had said hashtag no time trial or something like that. And I get that he's joking, Like, obviously, he's
He's
joking.
yeah.
But even the fact that he's joking
The fact
about
that he has to
it
joke about
is
it.
like, oh, dude, that actually got to you, huh?
No, but it did get him before because remember the Strava post he had?
Yeah.
About, like,
Yeah.
he was saying like, everyone get off my back, like about doing time trial racing because that's what he was about to do. I think.
Yeah.
I do think, and I also love Cooper Tier too because I think he's great for the sport. It's just really funny because you can tell he's trying to have a joke with it, have a laugh with it, but you can also see it seeping into him a little bit of like it gets to him a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just like to the point where he's trying to use that energy that's coming towards him to his benefit and to his positive light to come to this race because like this is going to be one of his biggest races he's done as a pro. This should be his biggest race.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to put the positive energy in and have a laugh with it, which I really respect.
Yeah.
But also just putting that stuff reaffirms
Yeah.
what we're doing is just like really justified in some way because I mean I hope that when something comes up with us he can like throw it back at us and we can throw it to him because that will be great, you know, back and forth. But definitely seems like it's seeping through and it's getting to him a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Full credit to him. This is a pretty legit race that he's about to do.
Yeah.
And I suspect that based on the fact that he has the 5K standard and he has the 1500 standard and he had a go at the American record in the mile, I'd say he's probably done for the year of set up time trials.
True.
Wrong.
He's ticked a lot of
the
boxes.
only thing that
But
Yeah.
and another world record attempt in that thing.
I see.
Four time trial attempts.
Yeah.
So I'm
Will he race not at Hayward Field once?
Yeah, that's
No.
what I was
That's
about to
the other
say.
part. Yeah, that's
That's
the
what I was about
other
to say.
part.
He hasn't left Hayward Field. He's been racing there, running circles. Like the one thing that he's
He
gonna,
might not.
the one thing that's facing him right now, and I might sound like a bit of a cock for saying this, but I feel like it's justified. The big boys are coming in town. He's not running. He's running.
The heavy hitters.
The heavy hitters are coming in town. He's not running with just one heavy hitter, not with one Cooper Tier and one Cole Hocker, right? Like he's not running with. He's running with now 15 guys that are Olympic finalists, people that can run under 350 and who know how to race in large fields. This guy is very, very talented, but he's also, I think, he's gonna find it much more of a different challenge.
Where are we going with this?
I'm just saying that I think he's gonna get a bit of a shock.
Oh.
Because
yeah.
I personally feel like when you go into races like that, I've gotten a shock. And like, no, I'm not saying he's not going to handle it. He could handle it and win the race. But it's going to be a shock for him. Because he's going to have, out of the lap to go, at a very fast pace, there could be like 6-7 guys in it, all around him, crowding his space, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's anything he's ever struggled with, though.
But he's never done it. When is a pro as he run the
as
race?
a pro. He's never done
with
it
that
this
type
level.
of field, that
He's
type
done
of
it-
credential.
He's done it at every level so far.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying like, I think it's still going to be a shock though, because I think it's a different level.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. And we haven't even talked about the actual main part of his Instagram, which is the funniest part as well, is that he made a joke about Jakob.
Oh yeah, the rivalry.
So for anyone who hasn't seen it, which I feel like everyone has seen it, he made a joke, which is like, I mean, it's not a good joke,
I didn't think it was very funny.
but it's
To be honest.
it's funny. He said something about getting to race Jakob again, and he posted an old picture of them racing, and he's like said something about like, yeah, excited to like have the rivalry happen again, and Jakob commented back on it just saying, yeah, I don't know if this is a rivalry, but yeah, excited to race you, bro, or something. It was
No, he didn't.
fucking
He didn't
He
say
said
that.
excited to race
he
it
just
free.
said, he said he's excited to race at pre.
Oh,
Dude, my boy Ingy just threw smoke. Like
Yeah.
he literally just
Jingy.
roasted him. Sorry, Jiggy,
yeah,
Jingy,
Jingy.
Jingy. He threw absolute smoke at him.
How did he think Jakob was? He probably thought Jakob wasn't going to
gonna
reply.
respond,
But how did he
yeah.
think Jakob was going to respond?
Well, I think Cooper didn't expect Jakob to. I don't think you
Yeah.
expect him to respond. I think it was just a joke because I don't think has he raised him since that. That's maybe why he posted that joke, right? Is that why there's a joke?
Yeah.
I imagine
Because I think that's the last time he raced him,
Yeah.
right? So that's why Jakob's probably looking at it going, who the fuck is this guy? And then comment and saying, yeah, I don't know about that, but excited to race a pre. Because he's probably not even like putting into his head that maybe even like Cooper's in the race.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
I mean, Ingy doesn't give a shit about anybody else, really.
Dude, he's the
Doesn't matter
Olympic
who you
champ,
are.
man. Freaking comment on everyone's Instagram
I
that
do
you're
love
racing
that he-
against.
I love that like Cooper's like, oh yeah, the rivalry is like, dude, you don't have any rivalry with anyone because you don't race anyone. Like,
Yeah.
no offense, bro, you have no rivalry with anyone. Like, I have rivalry with Josh because I race him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or when he does race. and then Jacob and Cheerio have a rivalry because they race each other a lot and they're always competing against each other.
Yeah.
The only rivalry that you have, Cooper, is probably with Cole.
Yeah. And again, like, this was obviously a joke, but it was like a weird joke.
It wasn't funny though. Like, I'm trying to find it funny. Like, the only thing that I found funny about Cooper's thing was the hashtags. For me, the hashtags was where, like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. And
I mean, we're saying that we were getting to him. I'm starting to think he might be getting to Ollie just as much.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's not. I didn't find it funny.
I
I found the hashtags funny though.
I
thought that was.
I
pretty
think
funny.
it's just a very entertaining thing to talk about on a
agree.
race week. I think it's very
agree.
entertaining to talk about going into a race. And this,
Well, he did get a lot of traction on like other social media posts. Like people were talking about his post afterwards. So that's how you know you got,
I think everything he does
Yeah, it just gets
is
a lot
very
of
entertaining.
gets a lot
Whether
of,
it's this is the where I start to like question. I'm wondering, does he post this? Does he have any idea that when he posts that, it's going to blow up in the way that it does? Does he?
I'm sure he wants it to.
yeah.
Do you think he wants it to blow up even if it's going to be negative, or does he think you do?
I think he's
Interesting.
more active.
I don't think.
He's definitely more active with social media than George. I think.
That's not that
I think with you and
Not saying
me,
much.
with you and me as well, particularly with running posts. If you look at our social media, probably more active than us as well. So I feel like
Oh, he
he's
definitely
probably
is.
much more of a social media person where he can post stuff like that. We've
Yeah.
seen certain other people post stuff that's kind of like, I think meant to be posted as like a bit of a stir, bit of a rile up. But I think Cooper's just been able to nail it because it's Cooper Tier. He's got a
Yeah.
great following and he's racing in one of the biggest races of the year.
He's just funny, dude.
I just don't know if he thinks it's going to be negative at all. I think thinks that he's going to get fully positive, but I don't know.
But see, can he take the criticism of it being negative and just brush it off? Like if it went
I don't know.
negative, like really negative, this post. Do you
Yeah,
reckon it would
not that it's
affect
like
his
super
race?
negative. It's just
It's not.
funny.
I think
it's
it's
just
I
funny.
think people just finding it funny.
I was wrong
What?
about Ollie being the only person because since I looked at the field, old mate,
Oh yeah,
Old mate
CPT,
CPT
and
has-
Will. Well, no, Will
He's
Potter's
Potter's
90,
not,
yeah,
but
yeah.
CBT has been added to the field,
yeah,
which makes
New
Two
Balance.
represent.
New Balance are in it.
Dude, isn't it cool that New Balance just have this Phoenix Suns Valley colors? Have you guys noticed that?
they
The-
do actually.
The kit
yeah.
is the exact same.
It's
So
pretty sweet, yeah.
Carlos is going to be a New Balance fan.
another storyline
Yeah,
of CBTs
Yeah.
for the weekend.
yeah. Let's bring that
throwing,
up.
throwing shade at
Yeah, and he puts my name into it.
No, he's
well, yours
in
was
a
in
positive,
positive
way.
light. Throwing shade at US fish and 100 meter runners.
Okay, this is
Not
the
the
thing.
first person or the first time
The thing-
that
okay.
he has done it.
The issue I have
Throwing
with
around
this,
the P word almost.
What do you think? The
Pussy
P word is?
was the P word.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Wait, so
that was the word he meant. It's
Yeah.
pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The one thing that I have against that is he named 3 people where he should have named a few others that he didn't name. Like he should have named Josh Kerr, who
Well,
has
for
the
you got to give the
Context. Give
context
some
because
context.
people that probably haven't seen it. So he has a podcast. Well, I think he has his own kind of track. He's called Horizon Track Club. Is I guess who he trains with or whatever. Back in I don't know where he trains, Montreal, Quebec, some shit like that. And and they have a podcast which I don't know if this for sure, but I imagine they're somewhat inspired by our podcast because I think he just likes to get on there and sling it a bit. He puts on this outfit.
Are we inspiring on the podcast and just sling it?
I think so. Because
Talk shit.
I don't know. But
Jesus.
so I don't know why they started talking about this, but yeah, on the podcast, he's saying how American 1500 meter runners want to win races. And I guess in theory they want to run fast, but none of them will actually step up and make a 1500 fast. And
Bro, this is so 2021. Like, get over it.
Seriously.
No, I didn't like that he didn't mention Kerr because Kerr's the one that has the soil record. Right?
Yeah, and
Like, he didn't even mention him.
That was weird.
and he's so reliable.
And then he also mentioned himself. And CPT, obviously, great runner, but I've never really seen him push a pace personally.
he's definitely tried to.
But
he just
I
I
has-
mean,
think he'll be pushing the pace on Saturday.
Yeah, probably not. He's just not as quick. The thing is, he hasn't run like
as quick.
3:32.
Well,
like
it's
you
not that.
or
It's just I've never
3.
watched him in a race like go after it and take it.
He has.
He has.
He does.
He
Yeah,
has,
he
but it's
definitely
more
does.
like
Can you give me an example? Because I actually haven't seen him do it.
he did a Drake relays one time. I don't know.
No, that's an example. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
He was leading my Prefontaine mile last year at the Bell.
Oh, he was too with Craig Right Angles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Huh? I
For
forgot about that.
example.
So
He was quite unhappy with me after that.
CPT
Really?
race. Yeah. for obvious reasons.
For winning.
Yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo.
It's a weird one.
I mean,
because-
I'm the person he's complaining about because
Yeah.
I'm not interested in running fast.
See,
But I'm fine with that.
But he's not complaining
not
about
gonna
you.
push-
He's complaining about Americans, which is funny because
Well-
then you have
Well,
Cooper.
yeah, but
Cooper,
he's
right?
complaining about people
Cooper
that don't
did
want to
solo,
run fast.
but he soloed a 3:34, right?
What
like-
does solo mean?
Like he was by himself. He had a pacer, but he was by himself in the rain and he soloed it. And he's American.
CPT should have been in that race.
It's true.
Cooper did that.
Yeah.
So why are you giving shit to
Remember
Americans?
when Evan Jager ran 3:32?
Colby Alexander.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Colby Alexander's
Colby.
been going after the pace. Like there's
gets
Americans
after
coming
it.
through that are doing that.
Yeah.
He's literally the way he's saying it. I do understand it because it was a problem in like a year ago. I feel like now there are Americans who are stepping up to it.
Yeah.
From what I noticed at the track meet, there was foreigners who actually didn't go with the pace.
See, yeah.
So I'm thinking
yeah.
more or less it's not like a nation thing. I think it's situational to the athlete now.
It's very
And
situational.
there's certain athletes that are going to go for it. And if you are that type of athlete and you commit to it, good for you.
That's the thing.
They've done it. But if there are
Yeah.
athletes that don't want to go with it, then you shouldn't because there was a situation where athlete was just like dissing on these other guys about like not going with the pace, and they're the one that won the race and didn't go with the pace. It's like,
What are you
dude,
talking about?
dude, what? Like, why didn't you just take the pace then? Like, if you want to do that, you have full control of your body to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't diss other people just because they don't want to go with the pace. If they complain about it, then yeah, give them shit.
I'm 100% on the same page
Give them
as you.
shit. But
I
it's
don't
not
feel-
it's not
yeah.
fair because like everybody else should be able to like run tactical races and win the race. That's what they're for, to win the race.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to run fast, they don't have to. But
Yeah.
if they're the ones constantly saying like, "Oh, I want to run quick," and they don't do it, then you can give them shit for it
I agree. Because the thing
because
is,
they're not
That
practicing
seems
what
like
they
common
preach.
sense.
yeah, it's
No,
just,
it is, but
it's
this
just,
is.
Yeah.
But I think it's
you're
getting
right.
over the top now with like, oh, Americans don't want to run fast, but like some Americans might not want to do that.
and it's not even that they don't want to. It's just that they probably can't.
Can't, yeah.
It's just not in a lot of people's wheelhouses necessarily to
Yeah.
go and run a more even pace 1500 or like lead a 1500. They
Or regress 1500.
or regress, which you can run pretty quick like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really hard thing to do, and so I think you only really can criticize someone if
Who's been saying it.
they're complaining about it already.
Mhm.
But if people are out here racing and trying their best, they just are, like,
Yeah.
and if they try their best but it doesn't mean they can necessarily go run and do a friggin' ollie haul and
Well, CPT, like, he brought up a topic that, like, people have been talking about, and I agree with, but then also you have to make sure you direct it the right way,
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's why I haven't said too much on that, because I know, like, I remember Kerr mentioned something as well about it,
He did say that.
and he said that, like, a lot of Americans just aren't tough and aren't going with the pace. It's just situational.
But
I
then
think.
Josh Kerr beat them by like 5
That's
seconds.
what I don't
It's
like.
That's the
I
thing,
don't
like,
like
it's
Josh
like-
Kerr saying that because it's like he's comparing them to himself, who's a 329 guy. It's like, dude,
If I could do that, I would, man.
These guys can't run 329.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
what do you expect from them?
It's 100% valid.
I'm just gonna say it. If I could race the way Ollie races, I would obviously race like that. I'm talking specifically about how you raced for a lot of last year in the US races when you would run 332, 333 and win by quite a bit, and you would run from the front. No shit, I would do that if I could. But I don't think I can.
No, it's just, it's very situational.
Maybe
It's
at
very
some point.
situational. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I think Americans are getting that, American runners are getting that diss, which I don't think
They're
is
getting
valid.
the diss because all the races happen here, I think.
Yeah, like it makes no sense because like there are foreigners that are here that also race similar to those Americans.
Yeah.
It's just that they're giving the American shit for it because there are foreigners at this present time that are the ones that are pushing the pace.
There's also
Whereas
just
like there are Americans like Cooper, for example, that could probably do that.
Yeah.
There's
Probably
also
has the
a lot
ability.
of Americans that are running that can run about like 337, 338,
Yeah.
which leads into the argument of, if they could just lead it, they'd get 1 or 2 seconds faster.
Yeah.
But that's not how it
Not
works.
that simple.
It's not that simple.
So yeah, that's shout out CPT.
Good luck.
Nothing to against.
We'll see you at the
Nothing against him, but we want to take down his podcast.
and we'll see you at the front of the Bellman Mile.
Yeah, we want to take it down. We don't want anyone. We don't want any competition. No competition.
What if he actually does just go out and lead the Bowman Mile?
I mean, I
Props.
respect to it.
Yeah, I respect.
That'd be
But
epic.
like his point is, like there's been points like that before. It was just
Yeah.
interesting the way I think maybe if we watch his podcast, he actually elaborates on
might
it
be more
more.
context.
Yeah,
But so Ollie, do you want to give away your race plan for this week?
my race plan. So my race plan is definitely to make sure I don't get punched in the face.
Okay.
No, but I think for me, like the one mistake that I've made, I mean, I really don't give a shit, but like the last 100 of my races haven't been particularly the past few months, just looking at a couple of races I've done. My last 100 isn't great, and I really want to work on that, but I just feel like when I'm in that position, it's been hard to like accelerate, move forward. I can't do a George.
We should trade some qualities because my first 1400 meters is pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
So
Just gonna combine.
Hey, no,
we would make a great. We should have babies.
We should have a baby.
Yeah.
That's the solution.
The only part I know is the last 100.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably gauge off Jakob, stay close to him, and then check out what Kipsang's doing because I think Kipsang is on another level right now. I feel like Kipsang is the favorite. I know obviously Jakob's Olympic champ, I get it, but I think Kipsang's on a situation right now where like he knows how to win.
He's on one.
He's on one, as they say.
He knew how to defend those straights.
Jakob knows how to win, but after the 5K at the track meet, I mean the guy looks like he's classy enough to just walk away with a lot of those races, but this Bauman mile is going to be hard to do that. So it's going to be not anyone's race, but I think it's going to be a very, very fought dogfight the last 200.
I think it's not going to be like last year where it was just Jakob and Stewie, and that was like the whole race. I feel like this year
I think it'll be slower, but I think it'll be like 49 for the win.
Yeah.
I think under 350 for the win, just under. I don't think it'll be like a 47 race.
Yeah, because last year that was after the Olympics, so everyone was already
peaked.
so freaking fit.
Peaked
Where this
and
is
fit.
so early.
I think it's going to be under 350, and I think the 200 to go, it's going to be a dogfight. But I'm hoping I'm in that fight, and Gus can give me some of his energy.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
if you're already at the front with 200 to go, then your last 100 doesn't have to be better than anyone else's. It just has to be.
That's George's
good.
race tip.
That's some big brain stuff.
Go to the front.
I just go to the
Lead
front.
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
If I'm on one and I get a hard on, I'll go early out. I'll go from like 300, 400 to go.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you're running if it's off a quick pace too, if you're running a certain pace, it gets so hard to pass if they can hold it.
True.
And I feel like
That's why I retired from the 1500.
Anyway, that's my race
Because
plan.
you can't.
Could change.
That
could
is
change.
why it's so hard to kick if you're already running 57, 56 second pace. How are you supposed to kick off that? No, it's almost just
Couldn't
like
tell ya.
it's just like a war of attrition.
Yeah.
At the
That's
end.
literally what the 1500 is right now.
That's why I'm leaving. That's
Yeah.
why I'm done. I don't want to do that.
Early retirement.
I don't like that. It's too hard.
So
That's my input.
George's 5K is extremely stacked as well.
Very stacked.
So yeah, there's like multiple races for start because there's this world record attempt 5K, but then there's the actual Prefontaine 5K, which not many people want to do the world record attempt 5K because it's
Dude, the homie's
ridiculous.
60s up front.
Yeah, it's 60 point. It's 60 low is the
Yeah.
pace for the world record, 12:35.
It's
So most people, all the amazing runners, a lot of them would just be. I think even the bronze and silver medalists from the Olympics are in your 5K maybe. I
silver
think,
and bronze. Wait.
yeah, I don't
which
know why I
is-
said that backwards.
Wait, Mo and Chalimo, right? They went.
Yeah,
They
did
went-
they?
They went 2-3.
They went 2-3. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chalimo
so-
and Mo and Made are in it.
So it's like the race you're in is
Brady,
absolutely
Olympic
crazy.
champ and world indoor champion 3K.
Yeah.
Is in it. There's like 5 Ethiopians, I think.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty messed up.
yeah. What's like your approach to this race?
Ollie, tips?
I think for George, the one thing I love about George.
I'll just be NAU, team NAU, me and Luis.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
world.
Luis is in there.
Luis
Hell
is in
yeah.
it. I think for you, George, you know how to race and compete, so I would just compete. I think a race like this, I don't know if it's going to be fast.
I think it will be.
It'll be fast,
I mean, I
but
don't think it'll be
relative
like-
to that, the
Like
fact
out the gun, I don't think it'll be
Well,
quick.
actually, isn't it an afternoon race?
it is. It's not gonna. It's gonna
Yeah.
be fast, but not relative to the fact that a bunch of those guys can run 12:40 something.
Yeah. I think
And
three,
don't
I
it's
think
gonna
when
be
it hits
12:40
3K, the race will start. That's
yeah.
what I think. But I'm not saying it's going to be slow to 3K, but I don't think it's going to be like a gun out.
It'll be a crazy last
Yeah.
5 laps.
It'll be a crazy last 5 laps, and I think for George, like, I think you'll surprise yourself. You're a fucking good 5K runner, so I'm excited for it. And make sure you beat Luis.
It really should, huh?
Any bets
Fuck
going
yeah.
down this
Yeah.
time?
Any bets with Luis? Oh, Ellie still owes you like $100 now for that freaking
And
bet.
the haircut of Luis. Those two together are just
Dude, that's not good.
really
man.
they're untrustworthy with their promises.
That's crazy. But
That's the 5K.
yeah,
thing.
I mean,
Chalimo come back from he was 10 seconds behind Kipsang in that 1500 at altitude in
he
Kenya.
was, wasn't he? I'm sure
But he's
that
probably-
means nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that insane? Though?
it is crazy to think about just how good Kip saying. The fact that he ran 3:31 at high altitude just blows my mind. I can't imagine.
Defies belief.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, there's like so many good. I don't even know. I don't even feel like we need to like preview any other races because every single one is absolutely stacked. One of the best fields of the year for that event. So
Yeah, just go watch.
It's just like a lot going on.
just a lot going on, and also, so yeah, we'll be tuning in. Good luck to the boys. It's gonna be very exciting, and yeah, that's Prefontaine. Hopefully, no one gets punched there. We'll see what happens though.
It.
We'll see what happens though. We have a couple of other things to talk about today. We want to give a shout out to Lewandowski,
Yeah.
Mr.
Retirement.
Marcin Lewandowski.
Retirement. He's an interesting athlete for me because like I feel like I've watched him a lot growing up, and then like obviously seeing a guy from a foreign country, I'm sure that's what Americans might see us. It's like, oh yeah, he's cool. Like I recognize the name. He's running well, winning medals. Really nice guy though. I met him at Tokyo. Really nice guy. Very genuine, down to earth guy. He seems like the Nick Willis of Poland, except without the
What does that mean?
just like not a father figure, but like he's like an older gentleman that's been in the sport for a long time that has a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
He's very open with that knowledge. He's very open with like the community of 1500 meter runners. I feel like he was like that.
That's quite a good comparison.
And
actually.
I feel like Willis is like that.
Yeah.
And my son was like that. Not to just me, like to everyone there. He was very, very open and would joke about stuff. He always brought the tension down leading into semi-finals and finals and stuff. So he was a really cool athlete, and he retired. And I mean, his credential
That is insane.
probably one of the best middle distance runners.
He was just
Ever.
such a good championship racer.
Mm.
I don't know exactly what I know he did run really fast times as well, but he was the type of guy who, if he was in the final,
He's a sub 330 guy, I think.
330 flat.
330
Yeah.
flat was
Based on something I looked at today.
Yeah.
And he ran, what did I say? He ran sub 147
Oh, yeah.
137 times or something.
That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
That blows my mind. Because the thing is, he wasn't even just an 800 meter runner as well.
Yeah.
He was pure 815 guy.
pure 815, yeah.
So crazy.
Crazy. But we wish
Nice
him all
job.
the best because I think he's going to look after his daughter.
How many bottles of vodka do you think he's going to drink to celebrate his career?
I don't know, as many as sub 147s.
So, what was the
So
number?
130 something.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think
That's a lot of
I think
vodka.
his daughter's sick or something. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I
I
do wish
didn't
him all
know
the
that.
best because I think. I mean, he doesn't listen to this, but I know. But I send out my support for him because I think he is retiring to look after his family, and that's a great
Yeah.
reason for it. And he's he's a lovely bloke, and he'll be missed in that kind of environment. I will miss him.
Yeah.
And drink up the vodka,
Yeah.
enjoy it,
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Shit. Damn, that's him. The other big thing to talk about, there has been a lot of stuff on social media in the last day or so. It's been very, I don't know, entertaining, interesting. But Shelby released, well, I guess we should backtrack a little bit. In the last week, it came out that Shelby's appeal to the high courts of Switzerland or whatever those are, the final appeal
The
got
Wizarding School of
denied.
Switzerland.
Yeah, whatever. Why does Switzerland get to have this power? I don't know.
Because they're always neutral.
Yeah, but that got denied, so her ban is
Upheld.
and nothing can be done about it. So it's, when did it start? Start 2021
Mm-hmm.
or something, 4 years from that. And so she's been a little more open with stuff since that, I guess, because there's like just no point to really like be closed off.
Her fate is sealed.
Yeah, the fate's sealed. And she posted yesterday or today.
Today,
She
I
posted a bunch of an Instagram, but it was just like a lot of text. It was a lot of reading, so I don't know if you're into reading or not. I wanted to read it though because obviously I find her situation very interesting, and I've said before in here that with her case, I find the stuff that seems not true is what really annoys me. There's certain things that I'm never gonna know, but there's certain things that you can tell are just BS. Like the whole burrito story, everything. A lot of the early on stuff is just such BS. But this post seemed very, to me at least, it seemed very honest. It seemed like she was kind of opening up a little more. I mean, it wasn't any new information, but it was, I don't know. I definitely made me like her a little bit more reading this stuff. And yeah, I don't know if we want, what else we want to say
That was a
about
good
it.
summary.
Yeah.
I would have the same view on that.
Yeah.
I don't have the same.
Yeah, Ollie doesn't
Well,
agree.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But I don't know.
But that's what the environment is with a situation like this. I think there's people that are going to be for and against it, and
we also saw she did a pod with some.
She did do a podcast.
So
yeah,
we're wondering.
Yeah,
get on the pod.
We want to do a question. We often take Q&A here. Now we have a question for you listeners in the comments or whatever. Do you think it would be cool to have her on the podcast? Because I think it'd be extremely interesting to talk to her. I mean, obviously her story is, no matter what the truth is, I think it's a very interesting story.
And also, it doesn't matter what side of it you're on. I think having her viewpoint and having her to be able to speak about it, hopefully in an honest way, would be an interesting situation for our sport.
Yeah, like I don't think that she would expect you to, like if you were having an actual talk with her, I don't think she would expect you to just have to believe everything that she said. I think.
Well, I don't.
Yeah,
It's more for me. I think the one thing that people don't do is don't let people speak when they disagree with them or they don't believe them. And I think that's one thing that would be nice, is that like be able to listen to her, have a conversation with her, and then see what my opinion is.
Yeah, it wouldn't be her like coming on to try and convince.
No,
us.
It's just more an informational.
Well, I'm sure she would be trying to convince us.
Well, maybe, but it wouldn't be like the whole point.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's
like a chance
to
share.
Yeah,
but having her to be able to have an open dialogue, a communication between two parties. I think would be interesting.
I would be very interested with the fans thing, because I think the flip side of it, which people have even commented on our podcast when we've talked about her before, is why are you giving a convicted doper attention? There's definitely a sense that
I have that question as well.
Yeah, if someone's a convicted doper, then you should give them as little attention as possible, and they should be punished for that. But I mean, I don't think
sometimes giving them attention is punishing them, though.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's that simple.
She's also being punished. Like she's been punished.
There's definitely a balance between.
She's being punished.
She's been punished.
Yeah.
She's been found guilty and it's been upheld. And I mean, it is unfortunately, whatever way you look at it, news is news, and that's a big news point in our sport.
Yeah, it's
the same with news on like any other thing, with like horrible news about war. You don't want to talk about war, or like, I mean, that's just not a good thing. That's a bad example. I'm sorry, but like it's like
pretty much all you're saying is that, and this is true of all press, is that negative stuff sells a lot more than positive stuff.
And it also, and it's going to be in the news. It's going to be talked about, and people want to hear about it. Yeah. So sorry, that was a bad example. Yeah. I'm trying to think of something like in general news that like maybe people don't want to talk about, but then it's always on the news.
Yeah, I just think it's so interesting, and not that like we would necessarily actually get her on. I don't even know if she'd want to come on, but I think it'd be interesting if the fans would like her to come on, because there is definitely a lot of different sides to it, and it's got to be one of the most, what's the word, like in this sport, I feel like I can't think of much else.
Lance Armstrong.
There's just been so like, but it's just so many different opinions on it, you know?
Yeah, I guess Lance Armstrong, there's only one opinion on it.
People feel
with Shelby, I think it's been more leaning towards one opinion, but it's also, I think with her situation, like this isn't going to be the end of it. There's going to be a lot more happening coming through. I mean, she's even said that she wants to keep running, keep continuing. So she will be back.
Yeah, she said she definitely wants to be back once her ban is done.
She's not going away. So she's going to be in the press for years to come. So it's not something that I think, news-wise, it's going to still be there. People are still going to be talking about it. Like her whole career, from now on, it will be talked about. 100%. Whether she's clean or she's dirty, whatever you think your opinion is, it's going to be there. And it's going to be something that...
Yeah. And
it's just always going to be there.
The other thing that I should mention in regards to the statement that she put out today is her platform has shifted a little bit. She always said this, but her post was a lot about looking at the current anti-doping system and actually assessing it for how effective it is for its purpose, because pretty much like the summary of it is like she was saying like they're not interested in the truth. They're just interested in convicting people of doping. And I mean, she has said that the whole time, but it seems like now she's in a place where if that is what she wants to try help improve, which she clearly does, she can work towards that right now, hopefully. I mean, and I think no one would disagree that they don't want the best system possible. So if there are some pretty big flaws in it,
But the thing is, like, if that was the case and they just want to convict people, why wouldn't more people get convicted? I feel like there's not that many people that get convicted of doping,
It's not that
particularly
simple.
Americans.
Well, it's not that simple. You have to take drugs still. You have to have drugs in your system still to get convicted.
Doesn't that mean that you're a drug cheat if you have drugs in your system?
Well, again, it's not that simple. There have been many other athletes who have had drugs in their system and then gotten off because it tainted meats, which is what she attempted to do at one point. So it's not that simple. But I mean, essentially, yeah, you're correct. But
No,
I don't know.
I'm just curious.
I mean, between the three of us,
it doesn't seem like it's very, like, I don't see people getting popped a lot.
no, I mean, and between the three of us, we can, as people who do get tested, we can look at them and be like, wow, these tests are like pretty BS. Like, George, like, how many times have you been tested? Like,
Bro. Not a lot recently.
like, I've been tested, like, I don't know the last time I got tested, but I out of competition, I was getting tested maybe once or twice a year. It's really not much. You can definitely see how if someone was
varies and on your degree of, like,
obviously,
you can look up everybody.
obviously.
If you go on the anti-doping thing, you can see every athlete and and how much they get tested.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I was just saying that to say the point that we know as people who are part of the system that if you really wanted to take drugs, you probably there are probably ways to do it.
Oh, well, yeah, there are probably people out there that are doing it, yeah.
That's all I was trying to say. It's like we know
It's
that the
always
system
been like
is
that,
really.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Definitely,
know.
if people are testing positive,
Yeah.
it means there's people that are out there that are not
Yeah.
getting caught.
Yeah, all I'm trying to say is that I think there is definitely a common ground for us that we want the system to be better. And obviously, it's extremely hard to find a good system. That's why one doesn't really exist yet.
The honor system.
Because at the end of the day, it comes down probably mostly to money because
Yeah.
the incentive just isn't quite there. So I don't know. This is like a pretty big topic for maybe another time. But yeah, that's all I'm trying to say.
Big
well,
topic
this
to
will-
throw in right at the end of the podcast.
This will come back. Like, we'll be talking about this a lot more, and, like, we'll obviously get you guys' feedback
We'll
on
punt this.
Yeah,
We'll punt this
it.
to
We'll punt
a
this
further,
as a
Punt this
business
to-
thing. We'll punt it.
to a further episode.
Punt it.
that's an inside joke.
That's a bad joke. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I also kind of understand the idea of just giving someone that's a convicted doper a lot more media attention. But also, if it helps give us more education on an anti-doping system that's flawed, then it could be a huge positive for the sport.
Yeah,
Particularly if somebody has found an issue with it
yeah.
that is actually justified. But yeah,
We'll see what happens. I'm just interested. I'm really interested to see from a fan's perspective if because they've been exposed to a lot.
well,
if they
imagine
wanna be
if Coffee
exposed to
Club
more.
had Shelby on sitting right here. I'm sure it'd be clickbait. Everybody would click on it and want to see what would happen.
Definitely would be good for views, I would imagine.
Wonder how
I don't
Gus
know.
would react to it.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. But yeah, I think that's it for today.
That
Nice
is
little
it.
nighttime episode.
We went through a lot, actually.
Started in the lightness, now it's full darkness. It's about my bedtime. I think I might take a bath. Is that okay? George, you want to take a shower first?
I might, dude. I'm tired.
Then I'll take a
I've
bath.
been waking up still pretty freaking early after this time change.
The jet lag hitting. Yeah. But
Good
that's
night.
it for episode 36. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. We'll see you guys
Cheers.
next time.